Am I the idiot for laughing when my brother-in-law was berating my little sister? For some background, my parents have 3 kids. Maya, female 29, myself, male 28, and Sally, female 26. The problem is Sally. When she was born, she had some form of medical condition which led doctors to believe that she wouldn't survive at all. But my parents never gave up. They spent money and time for her treatment, and a miracle happened. Since then, they have coddled Sally to death. Sally always had to have good things. I mostly got my sister's hand-me-downs, which I didn't mind, but it sucks that I was the forever neglected middle child. But my sister Maya took most of it. Maya was the oldest and the scapegoat. For some weird reason, Sally was always in competition with Maya, and I am sure my parents also pitted them against each other too. Maya was always supposed to behave and never complain, while Sally was a brat. If Maya had a dollhouse, Sally had a bigger dollhouse. If Maya did something good, my parents would just say, "Good job," and go on about their life. But if Sally even won a participation trophy, they would basically throw a party. Since then, Maya has been walking on eggshells around my parents. She would always be grounded, and we cannot even complain that Sally has been bullying us because she is a special child. Sally was also awful towards me. She would often abuse me and even steal my stuff, and my parents won't do anything. And like I mentioned, Sally was always in competition with Maya. If Maya wanted to participate in music, she would too. I remember Maya saying in high school that she has a crush. What does Sally do? Make out with that crush in front of Maya. My parents didn't even save enough for college for either of us, but luckily for Maya, she got on scholarship. I had to take out a loan. The last straw for Maya was when she was dating this guy in college. She brought him home when they were on vacation. She caught Sally and him having sex in the basement. It was a poop storm. My parents did berate Sally, but after a few days they were like, what just happened? It would be wrong to separate these lovebirds." That was it for Maya. She screamed at them that she has endured their abuse for all these years, but not anymore. She cut off contact. There was a lot of tension. Some of my uncles and aunts were divided. Sally was just as shameless as she was and went on to date Maya's ex. Maya eventually got over it and met a nice guy and got married. She did invite our parents, but not Sally. My parents didn't go, but I did. Now she is currently pregnant with her first child. My parents reached out to her, and although Maya was skeptical, she agreed to reconcile. So, our family has this big dinner once a year at their place where all the relatives and cousins are invited. Maya came along with her husband, Adam. Sally was also there with her husband, Maya's ex. Throughout the evening, I noticed Sally tried to be closer to Adam, but he would just shove her off. When it was time for dinner, my parents made a toast. Then Sally stood up and said that she was so lucky to be here and that she almost died when she was young. Barf. She then redirected to Maya and said, "Sis, I know it must be hard for you because your ex is now my husband, but thanks for the blessing. I know it must be hard for you to be here knowing how hard it was for you to compete with me, but I applaud your bravery." This was the moment Adam stood up and shouted at Sally, saying how dare she insult his wife. Who the frick does she think she is? Then the word vomit started. I am just paraphrasing it. You think you are so special because you were a miracle baby. Guess what? I was a miracle baby too, but I don't witch about it like you do. You are such a pathetic woman that the only achievement in your life you have is something that was accidental. What else do you have to show for? Everything you have was basically borrowed from my wife, even your pathetic husband who spent the entire evening hitting on every female cousin in this room. You are so annoying even if your husband doesn't like you. You know what the truth is? You have nothing and you are nothing. You are so shameless and pathetic that you tried to hit on me. You already got her ex and now you want her husband. I would rather die than be with a woman like you whose personality is worth a paper bag. You have always been jealous of my wife because you always knew you would never be as amazing as she is. That's why you stole from her, because that's the only way you could have what she has. There was more, but it was so brutal that Sally was in tears. My parents and relatives were shocked. My parents told Maya, "Well, aren't you going to do anything?" Maya said no and left with her husband. Honestly, even my cousins were silent. I knew no one like Sally. I, on the other hand, was laughing behind my wine glass. My mom noticed and said I am an idiot for laughing at my sister's misery. It has been over a week since this happened. The video of Adam's rant was circulating on our cousin GC. I still laugh at it. I have been Elsie with them ever since. But they are getting a lot of poop for Sally. So am I an idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. I can only imagine the satisfaction. What I would give to be a fly on the wall when that occurred. Imagine your whole life you had no support from your family, and the person you chose to be your family had your back. Wow, I would fall in love all over again. I'd probably be laughing in the car on our way back too. Great husband. Comment 2. Not the idiot. The golden child got a taste of reality. Maya has an amazing husband. Too often we hear about husbands who never defend their wives. Adam is a great example of a good partner. I wish him and Maya a happy, peaceful marriage and many, many loving years together. I wish everything good for you, too. A childhood like that leaves its mark, I know that personally. My brother was also a sick and golden child. He's an obnoxious and entitled idiot. Now for the update. Well, after I talked to Adam, he called me a few days later to ask me if I could speak to him. So I met him at his house. He made some excuses to Maya and took me to some private place. He pulled out his phone and told me that Sally has been texting him non-stop. He ignores her. He has already blocked 3 of her accounts. The text ranges from sorry, please talk to me, bashing Maya, calling him unworthy, some dirty text and also some provocative photos with captions. I can frick better than Maya, you know. Adam was sick of it. I was furious. Does Sally have no shame? I said enough is enough. My parents need to see what kind of person Maya is. So, I arranged a meeting with my parents. We didn't tell Maya because she is already pregnant. We do not want to stress her further. We sat with our parents, and before I could speak, Adam cursed right at the sight of my sister and started calling her a harlot. I asked him to calm down. Our parents were furious. I told them they should control their miracle child because she is acting crazy. She has been sending inappropriate messages to Adam. My parents obviously didn't believe it. I showed them the proof that they acted like they were disgusted. Sally kept saying it was a fake account. Someone is trying to defame her. Douche, Sally's husband forcefully took her phone and discovered the message. He was screaming and shouting at her. She was curled in a ball. Douche looked at our parents and said that. You raised a pathetic WH0 I personally grilled my parents. I told them they are a failure. They always prioritized their golden child over the other kids. Where was their concern when their other daughter was betrayed? Would they have done the same if Sally's BF was cheating on her with Maya? They have enabled Sally so much that she has become an entitled brat. They should know almost everyone in the family hates her and is sick of her. Adam told them they should be ashamed of the brat they raised. They are a bad parent who failed to teach morality to their child. That's why she is after her sister. And he said, look at her. Can you honestly say that you are proud of your daughter? Are you proud that she is a homewrecker? Are you proud that nobody loves her? They need to get off their high horses. My parents didn't say a word. Lastly, I told them to frick off. Me and Maya will be cutting them off. Don't even bother calling us. Their whole life they have invested in their bratty child, so they should just ask for her help when they are old. I am done with them. That is when my mom started crying, saying it is really unfair. The whole family is shunning them. I looked at them and asked, and whose fault is that? My dad looked pretty much defeated. I bet there were other members of the family that grilled them too and threatened to cut them off for Sally. So yeah, that's it, nothing big. I don't think they will learn their lesson. But who cares? And like you guys suggested, I took Adam to a steakhouse and treated him with a fine piece of steak. I also ordered one of those custom trophies like you guys said that has World's Sassiest Brother-in-Law written on it. Adam threatened Sally with police, so no message from her till now. I have decided that I will get a place closer to Maya because she does need help from someone in the family. So, that's all folks. Comment 1. That story was a wild ride from start to finish. But Adam seems like a great guy. It sounds like Maya dodged a bullet with Douche anyway. Douche, however, didn't dodge it. Hopefully, he's learned that now. Thanks for sharing everything, and for what it's worth, you're still not the idiot. I'm so sorry people are still trying to get the video from you. Honestly, props to you for keeping it private and keeping their identities private. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Laughing at your sister's misery and berating your parents like that. You're just as toxic as the rest of your family. And what's up with your weird obsession with your sister's love life? It's none of your business, dude. Adam is not some hero. He's just adding fuel to the fire. You all need some serious therapy to sort out your messed up family dynamics. Cutting off your parents because of your sister's actions is immature and won't solve anything. Grow up and take responsibility for your own feelings instead of blaming others. Your whole family needs to learn how to communicate and deal with their issues in a healthy way. This entire situation is a dumpster fire, and you're right in the middle of it, fanning the flames. Get your act together and stop reveling in the drama. Comment 3. Talk to Maya about cutting your parents out completely, and make sure your parents never meet her baby. They are unworthy. Frick Sally, and I'm so happy Maya found someone who loves her and protects her. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for choosing my daughter over my wife? I, 38, male, and my wife, 44, female, got married 10 years ago. After 2 years of marriage, we had our first son, M8. It was perfect, our first child. He is such an amazing kid, smart, funny, and great at sports. My wife really loves him. They spend a lot of time together, She takes him everywhere with her. They have a really special bond, or at least that's what I thought. 6 years ago, we found out that we were pregnant again. I was really happy when I found out it was a girl, but my wife wasn't. She became cold towards her and spent all her time with just our son. She started to push me to choose between our kids, and there was no way to bring our daughter with us if we went to see a movie. I couldn't take her with me to our son's football game either. If I wanted to spend time with my daughter, it couldn't be with my son or my wife around. I didn't understand why my wife didn't want our daughter around. As she grew up, I could see that my wife treated her differently. She never got new clothes. It was always just some old stuff. My wife never took her anywhere with her. I tried to say something, but my wife always started to scream that she knows what's best for her and that our daughter was lying. I didn't want to start anything, so I always backed up. Eventually, I started to buy new clothes for her and get her everything her brother had, but we promised each other that my wife wouldn't find out. I know it wasn't the best solution, but I really love my wife, and I don't want to lose her. I don't know why she acts like this. I hate it. It's not the woman I fell in love with. I gave my daughter a key to her room so she could lock it, but last week, my wife got in. She found all the stuff I got for her. I was at work at that time, and she threw it out. When I came home from work, I found my stuff packed. My daughter was crying in her room, but she didn't say anything when I asked her what happened. I found my wife in the kitchen, and we got into an argument. She told me to get my stuff, get out of the house, and take our daughter with me. She said she can see which woman I love more. At that moment, I realized what the problem was. My wife was jealous of her own daughter. I couldn't believe it. So, I packed all my things in the car and left. Now I'm at my parents' house, and I'm trying to figure out what to do. I know I should have left much earlier. My stupidity just hurt my daughter. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your stupidity did not hurt your daughter. Your love is helping her. I was appalled reading all of that about your wife. I can't imagine how your wife would treat your daughter once she reaches her teenage years. It'd only get worse. Your wife needs professional help, you need a divorce lawyer, and your kids need you. That's all. Definitely not the idiot. Comment 2. You need to contact a lawyer now and have an appointment with a therapist for your kids to be able to have custody of your both children, or your wife will alienate your son against both of you. You need to act quickly or it will have damages who will never recover. Comment 3. Something occurred to me that is most likely off the wall and ridiculous. But, are you sure both kids are yours biologically? I'm trying to understand where she's coming from here, because from your description it started at birth. Then the original poster responded with, "You're not the first person who said this, so I'm gonna ask for a DNA test." Now for the update. For everyone asking, my daughter is with me at my parents' house, and I'll pick up my son from school today, and he's gonna stay with me. My lawyer got all the papers prepared, and I'm ready to take all of this to court. I got in contact with the police, and they will come and take my wife out of the house tomorrow. My neighbor called the police on her for destroying my property and my car. She will probably spend some time in jail. My lawyer has all the evidence, and it's going to court. It took a few days for the police to process all the stuff, but now they know she's not supposed to come close to them. I know a lot of people asked how I couldn't see it before or why I didn't leave. I joined the army when I was 21, and I was there until 28. I didn't spend a lot of time at home, and I didn't have a choice to put my kids somewhere else. When I left the army and came home, I had to deal with mental issues I had. It's all good now, but she liked to use it against me most of the time. I didn't have a job before. The house is mine just because my parents left it for me. My parents are not my biological parents. They adopted me when I was 15 because of my father's abuse. But I think of them as my real parents. They love my kids, and kids love them. I have to be careful because she accused me of cheating, and she hurt herself before when I tried to leave. I know most people don't understand it, but please try to imagine how it was. I love my kids with my heart, and I'll do my best to make their lives normal again. They will always remember this, but I hope they will forgive me one day. Comment 1. Hey OP, just wanted to tell you something, because I've been in this place as the daughter. Talk to your kids, especially your son, and make sure you all know what is happening. Make sure your son knows what's happening and what has been going on with your daughter being disfavored for their entire lives. Make sure your daughter knows that you know and you care about what has been happening to her. Be clear with them. They may be kids, but I guarantee that they have felt this going on the whole time and have known it was wrong but couldn't do anything to change it. Make sure they know that you're on their side. Comment 2. You're the idiot. You're such a pushover. Your wife has every right to feel jealous of your daughter. It's obvious that she and your son have a stronger bond, and you should have respected that from the beginning. Buying secret stuff for your daughter behind your wife's back is deceitful and disrespectful. You're causing unnecessary drama and ruining your family. Just because you had a rough past doesn't excuse your spineless behavior. Grow a backbone, face your wife, and apologize for being so insensitive. Your kids need stability, and your actions are only making things worse. You should have stayed and worked things out instead of running away. You're not the victim here, and it's about time you faced reality. Get your act together and be a proper husband and father. Comment 3. You are so incredibly brave, OP. Sending you love and light for the new beginnings of your next chapter, as you rebuild a happy and loving home for your daughter. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.